Welcome to the Scenario Podcast, your guide to mental health and well-being. Each episode, we uncover practical tools, discuss expert insights, and explore how supplements can transform your mental health journey. Get ready to learn, grow, and thrive with us.
Have you ever found yourself wrestling with persistent brain fog? Or maybe noticed your mood swinging wildly, seemingly for no real reason? You might just feel generally off, and wonder if there's something deeper, maybe something physical going on.
It's a really common feeling, actually.
Yeah, and we often think of mental and physical health as separate things, but what if, a big part of what we experience up here points to head is actually rooted in our bodies?
Well, that's exactly where the science is heading. It's not just a guess anymore.
Right.
It's becoming clearer that there's a strong link between chronic, low-level inflammation and how we feel mentally.
Inflammation. Okay, most people think swollen knee.
Right.
Right, or a fever.
Exactly. That's the acute stuff. But we're talking about something more subtle, something simmering under the surface. And studies now show it's deeply connected to things like depression, anxiety, even problems with memory and focus.
Wow. So it really forces you to rethink things.
Yeah.
What happens in the body affects the mind.
Profoundly.
Yeah.
It really does.
Which brings us to something pretty fascinating that's getting a lot of attention. Turmeric C3 Complex.
Ah, yes.
Now, I gotta clarify, this isn't just, the yellow spice in your cupboard.
No, definitely not. Big difference.
Right. This is a very specific, concentrated extract. It's designed to deliver really high levels of curcumin.
Which is the main active compound in turmeric, yeah. The one known for those powerful anti-inflammatory effects.
But the form matters, right? You said it's different.
It's absolutely vital. See, the curcumin in regular turmeric spice is great for flavor, but your body doesn't absorb it very well. That's the problem.
Okay.
And this is where the C3 complex really shines. It's engineered, essentially, for much better absorption, to make sure those active compounds actually get into your system and can do their job.
So the research is showing it's actually effective because it gets there.
Precisely. The studies on this specific complex are quite compelling.
Okay, so today we're going to peel back the layers on this. We want to understand what turmeric C3 complex is, scientifically speaking.
Where it comes from, the curcuma longa root.
Yeah, and those three key active bits. The curcuminoids. Curcumin, demethoxycurcumin, and bisdemethoxycurcumin. Bit of a mouthful.
Yes, the 3 C's, basically.
And we definitely need to get into why its enhanced bioavailability is so important. You mentioned absorption. I saw something about piperine, black pepper extract.
That's the key enhancer. It can boost absorption by, up to 2,000%. It's incredible.
2,000%. Okay, that's huge.
It makes a massive difference.
So our mission today is to really get the science behind how this works, especially for mental health, and maybe how you could fit it into a wellness routine.
Sounds good.
All right, so we all know turmeric, that bright yellow root, or the powder. But turmeric C3 complex, you're saying, is a different league, precision, potency.
Exactly. It's standardized.
You mentioned those C3 components. Can you break down what they are again and why having all three together is important?
Absolutely. So the C3 stands for those 3 main curcuminoids: curcumin, demethoxycurcumin, and bisdemethoxycurcumin. Think of them as a team. Curcumin is the most famous, the most abundant one. But they actually work together. They synergize.
Meaning they boost each other?
Kind of, yeah. They amplify turmeric's overall anti-inflammatory and antioxidant power more effectively than just one of them alone could. And the standardization, the C3 complex formulation, means you get a consistent, reliable dose of these actives every time.
Which is crucial if you're looking for a health benefit, right? Not just guesswork.
Exactly. Consistency is key.
And this leads us to that bioavailability point, which sounds like the real game changer here. Regular curcumin isn't absorbed well. That's been a hurdle for lots of natural compounds, hasn't it?
A huge one. You can take something, but if your body can't use it,
it doesn't matter. But C3 complex, especially with piperine, that black pepper extract, jumps absorption by potentially 2,000%. That figure is just staggering.
It really is.
What does that mean in practical terms? For your body, for brain health?
That's a great question. Because poor absorption is, like you said, why many things just don't work as expected. Bioavailability is about how much actually gets into your bloodstream to have an effect.
Right.
For mental health, getting enough into the system is critical. We talked about that chronic, low-grade inflammation. It's now seen as a big driver for mood disorders.
How does it drive them?
Well, it messes with your neurotransmitters, serotonin, dopamine, the feel-good chemicals. It disrupts that balance, and it can activate your HPA
The
axis.
stress response system.
Exactly. It keeps you in this kind of constant low-level stress state. So high bioavailability means more curcuminoids can actually cross the blood-brain barrier.
Ah, get into the brain.
Yes, to directly help reduce that inflammation in the brain and hopefully restore some of that chemical balance.
So are we talking a direct link to something like depression then? I saw some pretty compelling stuff in the sources suggesting curcumin can really help with symptoms.
Yes, there's significant research there.
Yeah. Like that study, I think it was in phytotherapy research, it found 500 milligrams of curcumin twice a day for 8 weeks significantly reduced depressive symptoms compared to a placebo. That sounds pretty solid.
It is a landmark study, absolutely. And what it implies is huge. We might be able to target inflammation, a biological pathway, to really impact mood.
It's a different way of looking at it, not just managing symptoms, but maybe addressing a root cause.
That's the potential paradigm shift, yes. Now, the research is still ongoing, of course. We need more. But the data we have is strong enough to consider it a really powerful complementary approach.
Complementary, okay, so not necessarily replacing existing treatments?
Not necessarily replacing, no, but working alongside them, or offering a science-backed natural option that gets at these underlying inflammatory issues.
And it's not just mood, is it? What about that brain fog we mentioned? Memory, focus. A lot of us struggle with that. Does the anti-inflammatory action help there too?
Absolutely. Inflammation definitely clouds thinking, it impairs memory and focus. So curcumin, especially in this bioavailable C3 form, seems to offer neuroprotective benefits.
A neuroprotective, meaning it protects brain cells.
In a way, yes. By reducing that brain inflammation directly, it might also enhance neuroplasticity.
Which is the brain's ability to adapt, right? Form new connections.
Exactly. Your brain's amazing ability to reorganize itself. And it could support healthy levels of BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor.
BDNF, I've heard that called brain fertilizer.
That's a good way to put it. It's crucial for learning, memory formation. So curcumin could be helping protect existing pathways and maybe even build new ones.
That's incredible. There was that UCLA study from 2018, right? Adults taking curcumin showed real improvements in memory and attention over 18 months. That's quite a long time to see effects.
It is significant, yes. Not just a fleeting effect.
And this extends to anxiety and stress, too.
It seems so. Anxiety is often linked with increased oxidative stress and inflammation. Turmeric C3 complex might help by reducing pro-inflammatory cytokines.
Those are the signaling molecules that ramp up inflammation.
That's right. Things like IL-6 and TNF-alpha. It may also help lower cortisol levels.
The main stress hormone.
Correct. So by doing that, it could contribute to calming the nervous system. It's really a multifaceted approach to mental well-being.
Going beyond just symptoms, getting to some of the physical drivers. Okay, so if someone listening is thinking, all right, this sounds interesting, maybe worth trying, how do they actually use Turmeric C3 Complex? What are the practical steps?
Good question. So the typical recommended dose is generally around 500 to 1,000 milligrams per day.
Okay.
And it is absolutely essential, really, to pick a formula that specifically includes piperine or some other bioavailability booster.
Because otherwise you just don't absorb it properly.
You just won't get enough in your system to make a difference, exactly.
Yeah.
And for best absorption, taking it with a meal, particularly one with some fat, is usually advised.
With meals. Got it. And how long does it take?
Well, like many natural supplements, consistency is really the key. You need to take it daily. Most people start noticing meaningful effects after about 4 to 8 weeks.
4 to 8 weeks. So patience is needed.
Definitely. It's not an overnight fix. It works gradually on those underlying processes.
That's a really important point about consistency. Now, is it generally safe? Are there any warnings or people who should be careful?
Generally, it's considered very safe and well tolerated. But there are a couple of important cautions.
Okay.
If you happen to be taking blood-thinning medication, like warfarin, or if you have gallbladder problems, gallstones, for instance, it's really vital you talk to your doctor before starting Turmeric C3 Complex.
Right. Always check with the doctor with pre-existing conditions or other meds.
Always the best approach. And this also touches on quality. You know, not all turmeric supplements on the shelf are the same.
Oh.
Well, Turmeric C3 Complex stands out because it is the formulation that's been clinically studied for these specific mental health benefits. It's designed for high bioavailability, especially with that piperine, and it's often backed by patents and quality control.
So you know what you're actually getting in terms of those active curcuminoids.
Exactly. Consistent, reliable levels. That makes it one of the more trustworthy options if you're looking at turmeric for inflammation-related mental wellness support.
Okay, so let's recap. This deep dive really highlights Turmeric C3 Complex as a natural, science-supported way to approach mental wellness. By tackling inflammation directly, which, as we've learned, is increasingly seen as a root cause, not just a side effect, of many mood and cognitive issues.
Right. We've seen the potential benefits in studies looking at depressive symptoms.
Improving memory and attention, like that UCLA study.
And possibly helping with anxiety and stress by influencing those inflammatory pathways in cortisol.
And the key things that make C3 Complex stand out are?
Well, it's clinically studied specifically for mental health aspects. It's highly bioavailable, especially when combined with piperine. Always look for that.
Very important.
And it generally has good quality assurance behind it, ensuring you get those consistent curcuminoid levels.
And the practicals. 500 to 1,000 milligrams a day, usually with meals, give it 4 to 8 weeks of consistent use.
Exactly. And remember those cautions for people on blood thinners or with gallbladder issues. Check with your doctor first.
Definitely. You know, this whole conversation makes you think, if inflammation and mental wellness are so deeply connected, how might really understanding our body's whole internal environment, like, from the gut to the brain, how might that reshape how we even think about staying well?
That's a profound question.
Yeah.
It suggests a much more holistic view is needed.
Yeah, and it makes you wonder, what other unseen connections, these subtle biological links, might be playing out in our daily lives that we haven't even really started to understand yet?
Exactly. There's likely so much more to uncover about how interconnected everything really is. Food for thought.
Thanks for tuning in to the Scenario Podcast. Don't forget to visit scenario.com for more expert tips, articles, and supplements designed to support your mental health. If you enjoyed this episode, remember to subscribe and share it with a friend. Until next time, take care of yourself.